is up, diehards? Wes Monell here, aka Mr. West, is in the building on Awol Sports. There's a few quarterbacks that have been on my mind. I looked at some stats, actually a lot of stats. That's just what I like to do, especially during the off season. So I didn't go into this thinking of three quarterbacks in particular. I'm just looking at the quarterback position and then just seeing what comes out from it. So basically, this is on Drew Brees, Sam Bradford, and Andy Dalton. Down in the Big Easy. Once a comeback player of the year, now a 10-time Pro Bowler. Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, future Hall of Famer, Drew Brees. For the 7th time in his career, he finished with the most passing yards in the league. 5,208, and that's 264 more than the second-placed MVP, Matt Ryan. That's a whole game's worth. And there's two guys that blew everyone else out of the water in pass attempts. Brees, 673, and Flacco, 672. With that said, how great is Drew Brees? His 471 completions is also first, 35 more than the next guy, which was in fact Joe Flacco. To put what he's done in perspective, let's look at the past few seasons. Only 4 quarterbacks completed over 400 passes in 2016. 4 did it in 2015, and 3 did it in both 2013 and 2014. Over those 4 years, only Brees has accomplished that every single season. Oh, and that's right. Only 2 QBs completed 70% of their passes this past season. Sam Bradford led the league at 71.6, setting an NFL record with that mark. I'll talk more about Sam in a minute, but Brees was right there with an even 70. But of course, Brees connected on 76 more passes and threw 121 more times than Bradford was able to do. Brees finished with the 5th best QB rating and averaged 326 yards per game. Ridiculous when you compile all these things. He even has the longest play in 2016, a 98-yard pass and yak to Brandon Cooks. By the way, only 4 teams in the league had both starting receivers eclipse 1,000 yards. Green Bay was 3 yards shy of being the 5th team for the record, but yeah, New Orleans, between Cooks and the rookie, Michael Thomas, they're actually the only pair to both finish in the top 10 in receiving yards, with Cooks 7th and Thomas 9th. 2013 was the last time the Saints won the division at 11-5 and made the postseason. Since then, they've hit a wall, the 7-9 wall, in 3 consecutive seasons. How can you fault the quarterback, though? He just put up the 2nd most points in the entire league with 29 per game. Only behind the rival Falcons, and they were just in the Super Bowl. They got more first downs than the NFC champs and converted substantially better on 3rd downs. ATL didn't have the best defense in the world, don't get me wrong, but we saw how good they were in situational playoff football, which means they were good on 3rd downs and getting off the field throughout the regular season. New Orleans D gave up the 2nd most points, basically the exact opposite of what the offense was able to put up. Again, the offense put up 29 while the underwhelming defense allowed 28 per game. Oh, but the Falcons gave up the 6th most points, 25 per game. That's only a field goal less than the Saints. Oh, keep looking. That defense scored 5 touchdowns, 5 more than the Saints, D. The Saints were one of 6 teams to only muster up single-digit interceptions as a team. Really? So tell me, what other quarterback in the NFL had to carry his team? The only other guys that had to carry their teams, Aaron Rodgers, who was my pick for MVP, Matthew Stafford, he took his play to another level and his leadership up another notch with a playoff appearance. Bradford lost both tackles and Adrian Peterson. Remember him? So his head was on the swivel all year with the last ranked ground game. I keep saying how underrated Bradford is. People don't want to admit it. Don't tell me about the checkdowns when he's throwing for more yards than this list right here. He threw for more passing yards than Ben Roethlisberger, Cam Newton, Marcus Mariota, Alex Smith. How in the world? Big Ben has Antonio Brown and then some. Cam has Greg Olsen, one of 2 tight ends in the league to rack up 1,000 yards. He also has huge receivers and the speedy Ted Ginn. Alex Smith has Jeremy Maclin, former Pro Bowler, Tyreek Hill, standout rookie, and the other 1,000-yard tight end, the Bachelor, Travis Kelce. And America's quarterback, Dak Prescott, he threw for more yards than him. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. I invite you to go look. Look it up for yourself. And he only threw 5 interceptions on the year. Less than MVPs Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers. Less than Derek Carr. Minnesota was an 8-8 team, but that was only 1 game behind the rival Lions for the final playoff spot. I bet most of you don't even like the Vikings roster. This guy gave them a chance with only 9 days of playbook prep. Again, don't tell me about the checkdowns when defenses are sending the house at him. When AP is recovering instead of playing. When Norv Turner resigns as offensive coordinator. He engineered career highs for tight end Kyle Rudolph. And reality check, receiver Adam Thielen? Who? Adam Thielen caught 967 yards. Before last season, he only had 20 career receptions. Stephon Diggs added another 903. Almost 200 more yards than he got with Teddy Bridgewater. Both of those receivers enjoyed career seasons, just like Rudolph. And another quarterback I want to talk about, and that's Andy Dalton. Keep it up with all the jokes. He's a 4,000-yard passer. And out of the 13 passers in the 4K club, Dalton had the 7th highest completion percentage of the group. Tied with Russell Wilson, who he threw 3 less touchdowns than, but also threw 3 less picks than as well. The biggest issue for those 2 guys, they were both sacked 41 times. Ugh. When there's blame to give out, it's usually a combination of things. Like the QB being indecisive, sure. A less than stellar offensive line. And route runners not getting open. Usually a combination. The Red Rocket averaged more yards per game than Eli Manning, Jameis Winston, more than Prescott and Mariota. 1 more yard per game than Carr. No way am I saying that Dalton and Bradford are elite quarterbacks or anything of that sort. I just don't have to pass on the same lazy, lack of research, media assumption. I don't want to be a disservice to you at all. But these guys are starting caliber quarterbacks. Just not what you would consider ideal, or not the guys you would build a franchise around, or even draft in fantasy. I get all of that. All right, you've heard me out. If you want me to go in depth about a team, specific position, you name it, I'll come through for you, diehards. I will. Just say the words. I'll bring it with due diligence. You just got to let me know. Twitter fingers at Awol_West. Awol Sports on Facebook. You love sports. There's something that you want me to talk about, and I'm sure of that. There's got to be something. Talk to me, and your wish shall be granted. All right? Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy an NBA All-Star weekend if you're into that. I'll tune in a little bit. All right, diehards. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on the other side.